Syllaboo, everyone. That's the way I gotta open the pod because I do it every episode. I don't think I've been this mad at a hockey game. I don't think ever. I've gotten disappointed. And I've gotten, I guess you could say upset sometimes. I've never gotten to the point where I genuinely want to break something. And tonight nearly got me to that point. Welcome back, everybody, to the HabWrap. My name is Harry Rice. I'll be your host tonight. We are not going to be your friendliest and funniest source for anything and everything Montreal Canadiens tonight because, oh boy, I'm sure there's some people who have seen the results of tonight's game that are going to be anxiously refreshing my YouTube page, waiting for when that fucking recap tonight goes up. The Montreal Canadiens tonight played the Edmonton Oilers, and let's talk about what a fucking gong show this ended up being. So firstly, of course, we do have to talk about the lines. We gotta do that. So let's do that. Alright, sorry, I just had to pause real quick to cough. I didn't want to do it on camera. The lines for the Canadiens were Caulfield, Suzuki, Slafkovsky, Newhook, Kapanen, Demidov, Anderson, Evans, Gallagher, and Bolduc, Doc, Veleno up front. Matheson, Dobson, Struble, Hudson, and Jack Carey were on the blue line. And Samuel Montembeault, of course, gets the start for the Canadiens because Jakub Dobeš, who is backing him up, obviously, played yesterday against the Calgary Flames. The opening lines for the Oilers were Draisaitl, McDavid, Savoy, Mangiapane, Nugent Hopkins, Roslovic, Podkolzin, Philip, Frederick, and Howard, Henrik Tomasic. Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse Wallman, and Kulak Emberson were on the blue line. Calvin Pickard gets the start between the pipes for the Oilers, and Stuart Skinner backs him up. Before the game, the only thing really of note, Doc was back in the lineup, so Joshua Waugh was a healthy scratch tonight. My God, all right. It's tough to just go right into the notes, knowing what's going to happen in this game and how it turns out. But we're gonna try to. So the Habs ice a puck early. The Oilers try to press, but there's a shot that goes off Nuge. There's a fourth line scramble. Evans whacks at it, but that's blocked in front. There's a puck battle in the Habs zone. Doc and Veleno nearly connect for a chance. Suzuki then gets one, but that's stopped. Hudson with a rush tries to center it, but that's taken away. Carrier has a shot off the post. That goes back the other way. McDavid, good puck control, and Monty makes a save on Matthew Savoy. Once again, good look for Edmonton. McDavid throws the body on Carrier, who doesn't have the puck. No call there, of course. We missed a slight bit. It looked like maybe half a shift, and we actually have a review because the Canadiens might have scored. Suzuki right in the slot got a pass. They do review it, and unfortunately, there is no goal, so the game is still scoreless. At this point, I would want to bet that puck was in the net, but the refs we'll deal with that when that happens. There's a bouncing puck that hits Bolduc. He gets a rush chance. The shot is deflected out. Fourth line presses after Emberson loses his stick, but the Habs can't convert. And of course, because I say that, the Canadiens score. Alex Newhook gets his second of the year. He buries it on a nice scramble. He doesn't quit. He puts it in from Hudson and Kapanen. So Kapanen being a little less selfish than usual. He gets the assist on that one, the secondary assist on that one. And it's a 1-0 Canadiens lead. After the goal, the Habs actually get a power play immediately because Bouchard slashes at Alex Newhook after the goal. So Canadiens get a setup, but the Oilers clear. Demidov, very notable, was on the top unit. We would not see much of him on the top unit. And we'll find out why eventually. Oilers get a 2-on-1. Hudson, though, has a good stick to take out McDavid. Demidov then fans on a one-timer. The Habs are 0 for 1 on the power play. Habs then ice a puck after some gritty, pretty decent defensive hockey, actually. Habs lead the shots 8-2 with 9 minutes left. Kapanen hard work on a shift. There's a near trip and then slashes at another puck to get the puck. Or at another stick to get the puck, but nothing transpires out of that. Habs then have good D as the Oilers try to rush it. Oh, I got a cough. All right. Slavkovsky has a good shot block on a Bouchard slapper. Good shit there. Top line for the Habs press. There's a tip by Caulfield that's just stopped by Picard on, I believe it was a Matheson shot, actually. Newhook comes in offside with 5 minutes left. There's decent pace to the game at this point. Hudson has a good sudden rush chance. He tries the Kuzi no-looker, but that gets stopped. And then the Oilers score. And this is where you're going to start to notice a really shitty trend. So Nurse cross-checks Hudson in the numbers, and the refs don't call it. Hudson would be fine. I should make that clear. Hudson, thankfully, would be fine. He'd stay in the game. So before anybody's like, oh shit, they took out Hudson. I mean, he took him out of the play. But thankfully, he was still good to go in the game, so no need to panic there. But the refs don't call it, and Tomasek scores. Horrible puck luck for Montreal. This one goes off of Newhook. It looks like it was going wide the initial shot, but it hits Newhook's skate, and it just bounces in. Horrible luck for both Montembeault and the Canadiens, or Newhook as well, obviously. That just sucked. So yeah, Tomasek scores that from Podkolzin and Philip 16-12. Oilers then press. Henrik is in the slot as Doc loses his man. There's a good shot, but a better stop by Montembeault. Habs get a good rush chance, scramble off an Anderson pass right in front. Carrier actually gets it in the slot. With the wrister, the shot is wide. Habs ice a puck with 2:34 left. Top line presses. Jacka has a slapper that's blocked. There's a Bouchard slapper that doesn't get blocked by Josh Anderson, but Monty makes the save. Shots are 12-6 for the Canadiens, and a 1-1 tie game after the first period. In the second period, and oh boy, this is where it starts to get real fun and where I should be able to say, what a game. This was a great, fun, entertaining game. And the second period is essentially why. I want to be able to say that. Caulfield has speed off an Oilers bobble shot that's saved by Pickard. Good read on a tricky shot, actually, for him. Going back the other way, Savoy looks for his first, but Monty holds. Bouchard then boards Doc right in the numbers. He'd be slow to get up. Just keep this in mind. Keep the Nurse and Bouchard boardings. Keep those in mind. Or sorry, legal hits. Keep the legal hits in mind. Bouchard, or I said Bouchard, but I think it was just another Oiler, but trips up Doc. No call there. Off a rush, Demidov has speed. He centers to Kapanen. That goes off an Oiler, but the Habs can't score. Oilers then ice a puck after Demidov's line kept the Oilers, or the Oikers as I put, hemmed in for a bit. I love fat fingering my keyboard. Caulfield to Suzuki in the slot, but that's just wide. There's a Caulfield shot that hits Wallman off a quick turnover. That goes out. Bolduc has a cross check on Mangiapane. Habs then ice the puck, but clearly not. The refs do amend that. They move the face off to center ice. Oilers then, for real, ice the puck. Wallman ends up milking and icing. Oilers then ice the puck. The second period at this point has been a slog. So the fact that I say I want to call this game fun because of the second period, I think is actually a testament to what we're about to see in the next little while of this hockey game. So yeah. Caulfield gets two good chances, but those are stopped. Habs ice a puck. Oilers get a shot. It's out of play, and we then go to the commercials. We go to several commercials, obviously, because that's what you do during the commercial break. Habs then go to the penalty kill. Carrier's called for a cross check on Isaac Howard. And surprisingly, I actually don't have a issue with that penalty. I think that was a little bit dangerous. Carrier gets him in the lower back. Howard does go down as a result. He thankfully would be fine. That's actually a penalty that I completely agree with. I think that that's fair to call. However, if you're going to call that, would you not ideally want to call either Nurse or Bouchard? Just a little food for thought. Keep those in mind as well, by the way. Draisaitl has a shot that's held. Anderson with a shorthanded burst. McDavid takes that away from him. Evans then gets a clear. It barely gets out of the zone, but it does. Draisaitl has a one-timer that goes off the post with 20 seconds on the kill. Habs good kill. There's a stop by Monty with seconds left, and the Habs are 1-for-1 on the penalty kill tonight. Bolduc has a hard hit along the boards, and then the Oilers score. Adam Henrique has a tip on a Jake Wallman shot, and Montembeault has no chance on that at all. It's just a great tip. Goes top corner. I don't want to see anybody blaming Montembeault for this game, and especially not on these first two goals. Henrique gets his second of the year. Henrique, who's, by the way, actually played his 1,000th game the other night. This is his 1,001st NHL game. Good for him. But Henrique scores from Wallman and Ekholm at 10:37. And the Oilers have a 2-1 lead. Habs top line presses. Caulfield has speed, but he just can't get it. Carrier stick, then breaks on a wrister. Suzuki looks for a wrap. Pickard. I keep wanting to call him Picard. Pickard finally covers as a few guys tried to whack at the puck. Habs ice the puck, and the Oilers score. Andrew Mangiapane gets his third of the year from Nurse and McDavid. I said this game is probably done with 6:32 left. Once again, the fact that I say that this game, I wanted to say this game was pretty damn good because of the second, is a testament of what's about to come. So it's 3-1 for the Oilers. Evans gets a break. He hits the post. That really sucks. Habs try to break out. There's a bad bouncer. Draisaitl gets on a break. Good stop, Montembeault. Puck ends up going back the other way, and a little bit of board play behind the net. It comes out, and the Canadiens score. 16:57 with 3:04 left in the second period. Josh Anderson makes it 3-2. Right in the slot. Kind of a little chip from Gallagher. Evans from behind the net got it to Gallagher. Just to Anderson, and he puts it over the glove of Calvin Pickard. So, as I just said, Anderson from Gallagher and Evans with 3:04 left. Habs end up pressing, and holy fucking shit, the game is tied with exactly 2 minutes left. Cole Caulfield, 2 goals in 1 minute and 8 seconds. He gets that one, just gets it on the rush. He waits out Pickard. Does anyone remember the goal that Nick Suzuki scored against, I'm pretty sure it was the Winnipeg Jets, where he held on to it, little toe drag, and just put it behind Hellebuck? That's basically what Caulfield did here. He outweights Pickard and is just able to slip it into the empty net. It's barely even a shot. He just puts it in. Caulfield, his 6th goal of the year. He ties it up from Noah Dobson and Lane Hudson. Some great shit there. There's a 2-1 for the Oilers. Roslovic is on it, but Carrier breaks it up. And then, oh my god, the Habs take the lead. 3 goals in just under 2 minutes. Cole Caulfield, his second of the night, 7th, league leading, tied for the league leading goals, 7th of the year, on a beautiful 2-on-1 off the turnover. Beauty of a wrister. That gets behind Pickard. It looked like the puck might have gone out of play. Struble was the only one who thought it. Everyone else just went with the play, and that's how the goal is scored. Habs take the 4-3 lead from Suzuki and Carrier, again Caulfield with the goal. What a lucky bounce off that chance that just goes wide of Montembeault. And the Habs are going to go to the penalty kill with 34 seconds left. Matheson will ruin the momentum. It's a call for interference. So, there's a shot. Bouchard has a slapper wide. There's another chance this just goes wide. So the Canadiens will have about 1.5 minutes to kill to start the third. Habs have the 4-3 lead after an insane second period. The shots are 21-14 for the Montreal Canadiens. So it's a pretty good game so far, right? Yeah, I mean the Canadiens are looking pretty damn good. They're like, my God, just the Canadiens are they have the lead. They're looking like a legitimate cup contender. Oh my God, like they're gonna pull this off, right? And then the third period happens, and we're gonna have some quotes from the post game. And this is the first time I'm saying that on this pod, you're gonna see some quotes from here's some quotes from the post game. Because I genuinely cannot believe what happened in this third period. So the Habs with good clears, they just end the penalty kill. They don't really give up any chances. The Habs are 2 for 2 on the penalty kill tonight. The Habs cycle, and we score. The Habs have a 5-3 lead. Can you believe this? Alex Newhook, his second of the night, his third of the year. He scores it in the slot. He knows where to go to score some goals. Kapanen with the assist. The primary assist, and Jaden Struble picks up also his second assist of the season on that goal. That comes at 2:10 in. Monty, good shot, a good save on a quick chance from Roslovic. He's not given much. It's kind of a long-range shot. Just got to hunker down. And then the Habs go to the penalty kill. Slafkovsky's called for a cross-check on Emberson. This one, I will say, I get why it's called, because Emberson, at the same time Slav is about to cross-check him, loses an edge. So it looks worse than it really was. I get why they called it. It's called 2 for boarding. So once again, ideally, would you not want to call Nurse or Bouchard? Because those looked way worse than Slafkovsky's on Emberson. So the Habs are on the penalty kill. Anderson gets tripped by Draisaitl, and it's a blatant trip, so naturally there's a call. No, there's no call. That's as the Canadiens try to look for something shorthanded. Evans has a near wrap, but that's blocked out. Matheson steals a puck. The Habs penalty kill looked fantastic at this point. Habs press, there's a scramble in front. McDavid gets 3 whacks at Monty, who holds down the fort. Oilers try to set up at the line. Evans then steals on a pass. There's a good clear to neutral. The Habs are 3 for 3 on the penalty kill tonight. Habs look great in their element. There's a steal, Suzuki with speed. There's a shot. He gets the rebound, and Pickard makes a really good stop. Genuinely, that is, at this stage in the game, it's game-saving. It's a game-saving save, really. Oilers in front. They find McDavid, Draisaitl, who goes wide. He went wide. I was thinking it was McDavid shooting. Sorry, my apologies. Habs go back the other way. Slav to Hudson, just gets stopped by Pickard. Dobson's having a great game. Dawkins up generating a rush chance. Oilers look for something. There's good sticks by the Canadiens to stop most chances from the net. Now, before I talk about what I'm about to mention, I just want to bring up the first quote and shout out Eric Engels on Twitter, by the way, who is providing these post-game tweets. Eric Engels says, quote, Habs furious with officiating tonight. Brendan Gallagher said the officials admitted they made a mistake on the call on Slafkovsky. And I'm going to cut that off there, because there's a penalty. There's something that's talked about here that I haven't brought up yet. So I'm just going to stop there for a minute. But the Canadiens go to the penalty kill. Matheson is called for a trip on McDavid, which might be the biggest dive I've seen since any penalty that Tim Stützle draws on Brendan Gallagher. McDavid with a big dive, and it's embarrassing that gets called. And, of course, the Oilers score. Leon Draisaitl gets it because Josh Anderson just decides not to cover him. Draisaitl scores. It's 5-4. The Habs are 3-for-4 in the penalty kill tonight. Draisaitl gets his 5th of the year from McDavid and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins at 11-19. But wait, on the next face-off, there's only 4 Canadiens. They made a mistake. Matheson's still in the box. Nope. The Habs are right back on the penalty kill. Josh Anderson gets called for unsportsmanlike conduct after the goal. And this is where it really starts to piss me off. Firstly, I fucking hate Josh Anderson. You guys, I think, know that by now. You guys know I fucking can't stand Josh Anderson because of stupid shit like how he didn't cover Draisaitl, and he will often take really stupid penalties. Josh Anderson should not have gotten called for unsportsmanlike conduct here. It's because he slaps the puck back down the ice after the goal is scored. And this is where we go back to the Eric Ingles quote and finish it off. So they made a mistake on the Colin Slafkovsky. Quote, and he felt the officials. He felt the call on Anderson was because the official felt Anderson showed him up. And then Brendan Gallagher says, quote, he didn't. So because the officials are mad that a player was mad that a penalty was called on his team and was expressing himself to the officials, it's now a fucking penalty. And I was going to wait until the post game to bring this one up, but Cole Caulfield has probably a fucking all-timer quote. He has probably an all-timer quote when he says this, but quote, refs kind of took over the game there, and kudos to them for winning it. Once again, shout out Eric Ingles with the tweet there. And yeah, it's at this point that the Canadiens lose this game, not because they let the Oilers get back in it, not because, the Oilers just dug out of the hole that they put themselves in. It's because of the officials. There were at least 3 really questionable calls. That McDavid dive that wasn't called, firstly, along with the Matheson trip that was called. The Josh Anderson misconduct here, which, that's a thing. If you're going to give him a penalty, they showed Gallagher on the broadcast. They showed Gallagher talking to the official. And it looked like the Craig Button and Brian Johnson, or Brian Mudryk, I think it was on the call with him, they were saying it looks like they're giving Gallagher a misconduct. Which, okay, obviously I'm not a fan of putting Gallagher in the box just because he's Brendan Gallagher. But if you want to penalize Josh Anderson for quote, showing up the officials, give him a 10-minute misconduct. That's all you needed to do. How often do you see that? Where a player will argue with the refs, they'll be talking back as they're going into the box, and how often do you see, alright, the initial penalty and a 10-minute misconduct? You will rarely see player has 2 for unsportsmanlike conduct. That does not get called often anymore. I don't get what the officials... Let me get their names. So the officials for this game... I was about to say, there's no way they took the officials off, right? It'd be at the bottom. Game info, that's where I find it. Okay, so the officials: Chris Schlenker, Garrett Rank, Bevan Mills, Caleb Apperson. What in the ever-loving fuck were these guys doing tonight? Because seriously, this was fucking amateur hour in Edmonton, in Rogers Place. This was fucking amateur hour with the officiating tonight. Montreal, coming out of tonight, had a chance to be first in the National Hockey League. And I get, it's 9 games into the year. Fucking, what is it going to matter by game 82 if we're second or third? Nothing, sure. But getting that opportunity to say, hey, look, we're first in the league. This is pretty cool. We are robbed of that. And we're robbed of a win. If the Canadiens somehow falter, for example, and at the end of the year, game 82, they're out of the playoffs, let's say by 1 point. This is the game you look back on and say this is why the Canadiens missed the playoffs. It's because of bullshit like this. And because of amateur officiating. Because the officials got a little bit butthurt that a player is mad that a penalty was called on their team. Which happens on every fucking penalty in existence. You will never see a team saying, hey, you know what? Yeah, that penalty was called. Thank you for calling that. That was a good call on us. No. You will never fucking see that. So the idea that the officials get a little bit mad and want to call Josh Anderson giving the Canadiens a penalty kill, I think is absolutely fucking disgraceful. And it sucks. Quite frankly. It just to put it flatly, it fucking sucks. And because, especially when I did my former Canadiens podcast, I would talk often. I would not big up the refs. I'd sympathize with them. I'd empathize with them. I'd understand why they would call a lot of the things that they call. Tonight, the refs are the reason the Canadiens lose. And you'll see some people saying, oh, well, Montembeault. Fucking who cares about how Montembeault played tonight? If the officials don't get a little bit butthurt, firstly, at the Canadiens, and secondly, call some of the things that were missed, the Nurse cross-check, the Bouchard cross-check, the Draisaitl trip, if you're calling some of these things, the officials at least will give the Canadiens a chance in the game. If you're going to call Anderson and the Slavkovsky cross-check, if you're calling these other ones, the officiating goes from, yeah, it was garbage tonight too, it was questionable at times. Which is a lot fucking better than, yeah, the officials, they were complete trash tonight. There were things they didn't call on one team, they then called on the other. The officiating looks dog shit tonight, because it was. And this is, again, coming from someone who will often understand why refs are calling things the way they are, why they call something in the first that they don't call in the third, why they call makeup penalties a lot of the time. I understand this. I don't understand half the calls they made tonight on the Montreal Canadiens. And with that being said, on the Anderson penalty that had no right being called, the Oilers score. They tie the game up. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins gets his 5th of the year from Connor McDive and Evan Bushbust at 12-17. 8 minutes left. It's tied. Habs are 3 for 5 on the penalty kill tonight. And this is at the point I put the officiating is seriously questionable at best tonight. Habs fans are out cheering the Oilers fans tonight, which was the case, and you have to be embarrassed if you're an Oilers fan. Firstly, the fact that Habs fans just completely invaded your arena and took over the game from any Oilers fans that might have been in the building. But secondly, just, you have to be embarrassed that you go up 3-1, you blow it within 4 minutes, and then it takes the officials to hand you the game on a silver fucking platter. I barely took any notes for the rest of the 8 minutes because I was half the time staring at my TV in fucking shock at what we were watching. Oilers pressured with 4 minutes left. Matheson barely couldn't clear a chance. Dobson finally does. Monty holds on an Oilers chance. It's clear Habs wanted to go to OT, but we won't get there. Vasily Podkolzin gives the Oilers the lead with 1 minute and 9 seconds left. I believe that's his first of the year. I think he played last year with the Oilers, so it's not his first with the team. He scores from Nurse and Wallman. And I just want to shout out Mike Matheson because I've tried to get him. Matheson fucking blew chunks tonight. I can't wait until this guy is a free agent July 1st. He just doesn't fucking check Vasily Podkolzin. He doesn't try to stick lift. He doesn't try to even maybe slash. Worst case scenario, you go on the penalty kill late, but that's one where you at least understand it. Doesn't try to get a body check. Doesn't try to forecheck, cross check, stick check, lift anything. He just sits behind Podkolzin, watches him get the puck and fucking backhand it home. Which I'll see people blaming Montembeault for that goal. You cannot blame Montembeault for that goal. It's maybe 2 meters in front of the net. It's a very sudden. He gets the puck. You got to be ready. And he puts it backhand. That is all on Mike Matheson. Mike Matheson. It sucks that Caden Gooley's hurt because Matheson has to be playing right now. When Caden Gooley comes back on the team, you have to scratch Mike Matheson. This dude is fucking atrocious defensively, which is crazy because the first 3 games of the year, he played great. He was playing fantastic in his own zone. And I don't know if it's because Gooley went down, so we have to overplay Matheson again, or what. Matheson has looked horrible the past 3 to 4 games. Turning over the puck, I forget which game it was where we went up late, where we were up by a goal late. It might have been the fucking Calgary game last night. I'm pretty sure it was the game before that, though. Turning the puck over, trying to clear it, and giving it right to the team when we're up by a goal with 1 minute left. Okay, couldn't have been the Calgary game then. Like, I get that the officials are to blame tonight. Matheson is the reason this goal goes in, and the Oilers aren't left just pressuring for the last minute while the Canadiens just try to get to overtime. So it's a 6-5 game. The Habs call their timeout immediately. Habs ice it with 50 seconds left. Monty gets pulled with 35 left. They get it in deep. There's no setup. There's an empty net chance fired just wide after the final horn. Habs lose 6-5 in regulation. The shots are 29-27 for the Oilers. So that's right. The Oilers came out of the second period with 14 shots. They then outshot the Montreal Canadiens 15-6. And I would just like to point out that the Montreal Canadiens only got 6 shots because the Oilers got 4 fucking power plays in that third period. And once again, the officials admitted they were wrong on the boarding call for Slafkovsky. So what do? They call Matheson for tripping McDavid and not McDavid for embellishing or diving, one in the same. I don't even care that you're going to call Matheson for a trip, because ideally, if you're calling the trip and there's a dive, you call the dive because there was a trip, but it's embellished, or you're going to call an embellishment, whatever. I'm fine going 4-on-4. You call Anderson because the refs get a little bit butthurt. And by the way, after that 6-5 goal, yeah, Evans is out of the game. He's given a 10-minute misconduct. The officials were fucking horrible tonight. I'm not saying anything, but just to let you guys know, the officials, again, were Chris Schlenker, Garrett Rank, Bevan Mills, and Caleb Apperson. So... Alright, so this is developing as I'm recording, but Eric Engels has another... He posted a screenshot of the quote, but Brendan Gallagher, and we're going to live react to this, I am at least. But Brendan Gallagher was asked... Eric Engels asked Brendan Gallagher if he got an explanation for why Josh Anderson was penalized after Draisaitl's goal. And this is his response, and we'll do this, we'll do the stats, and then I'm getting my fucking fat ass out of here, because I don't want to talk about this game anymore, because I don't want to fucking yell for 45 minutes. So, quote, I'm going to be honest with you, started with Slaff's penalty. Talked to him after that one, they admitted it wasn't a penalty, made a mistake. It's an emotional game, temperatures are hot. Understand that, control the game. Understand you made a mistake, we're shorthanded again, give a guy a second, no need to call that. Quote, I thought our guys played a really good game, which we did. We were checking their top players, we were doing what we needed to do, we responded really well. And yeah, could we have handled our emotions better? Of course, we'll talk about that. But situations in the game, you know, obviously they've got some high-end talent, they don't need the help. They don't need the help. Well, apparently, Brendan, they do, because the officials felt the need to give us 4 fucking penalties in that third period. Just an absolute fucking joke. And props to Gallagher for admitting that the refs talked to him. Probably not expecting him to say this, but admitting the Slav penalty wasn't a fucking penalty. Just... you guys know the drill by now. This officiating was fucking horrible. Mike Matheson is garbage. Josh Anderson is the victim for once. Just a fucking atrocious game. I'm disgusted as a Canadiens fan. I'm disgusted as a fucking fan of hockey that this type of game will likely go unpunished. I know that there's times where the officials will get punished. They're not made public, though, as far as I know. The officials' punishments are not made public at fucking all. So, with that, let's get into the stats and get out of here, because I don't like getting this mad at a game, at professional hockey. So Nick Suzuki, on a positive note, he leads the Montreal Canadiens with a goal and 11 assists for 12 points in just 9 games. He's looking great. Cole Caulfield with 7 goals. Again, tied for the league lead in goals. He's also got 3 assists for 10 points. Lane Hutson's third on the team, as he was last year too, funny enough. He's got a goal, 7 assists for 8 points. Alex Newhook, he's got 3 goals, 4 assists, and 7 points. Oliver Kapanen's got 4 goals, 2 assists, 6 points. Ivan Demidov's got a goal and 5 assists for 6 points. Brendan Gallagher's got 6 assists. Zach Bolduc's got 4 goals and an assist for 5 points. Mike Matheson's got 2 goals, 3 assists, 5 points. Noah Dobson's got a goal, 4 assists for 5 points. Yuri Slafkovsky's got 3 goals. Alex Carrier's got a goal and 2 assists. Kirby Dach, Caden Gooley, who's still unfortunately hurt. Jake Evans and Josh Anderson each have a goal and an assist. Jaden Struebel's got 2 assists. Arbor Jacki and Patrick Laine, who is still unfortunately hurt, each have an assist. Caden Gooley and Arbor Jacki each with a fight as well. So that's going to do it for today's episode of the HabWrap. Thank you all so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe if you're on YouTube. Follow if you're on Spotify, Amazon, wherever the hell you're listening to this. Thank you all so much for watching. Always remember, no matter how good we are like last year, how great we are like this year, go Habs go, Ade Montreal, and say it with me now, of course, C'est le but.